Hello and welcome everybody to the show. Today we're going to talk about all the horrific things that's happened to us all during live streams, webinars and all those other crazy things. So welcome to the show.
I have to stop that now. It's just driving me crazy. Anyway, hello, welcome to Tech Talk Thursday. We have a wonderful lineup of very special guests joining us today. This light is blinding me. I'm going to turn it off. Thank you very much. So, hope you're all having a wonderful Thursday. We've got a good lineup of guests. But first off, we're going to join us with Mr. Martin McKenna. Martin, welcome back to the show. How's your horrific day going so far? Hopefully all well.
The day is going so far so good, but I'm also going to have to turn off my light because I think I'm going to be blinding myself throughout the whole show if I have this sitting underneath me throughout the whole show. So that one's getting ditched, but we will do some other fun special effects as we go along.
Absolutely.
Just to keep everybody entertained. So
we've got a few people in the house.
We have some fabulous guests in the house. You know, some of them have made more of an effort than others, Lux. But, you know, we try to bring you the best people on the planet, but occasionally we just have to go with who's available.
Exactly. Now, don't give them a hard time already, Martin. I know it's supposed to be a horrific show, but we're supposed to be kind to our guests. So today what we're going to be talking about is really all the things that we've witnessed, we've been part of, we've either contributed to, horrific stories that have happened on live streams, webinars, presentations, facilitations, and all that kind of stuff. But who are we to judge and talk about all those things? And hopefully you guys will learn a little bit about how to fix these problems as of when we talk about these stories. So if all our guests are ready, though, let's have a thumbs up in the green room. They're all ready. Let's bring them on and say hello to our wonderful panel of guests. Hello, everybody. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello. I don't know who that guy is down there in the pumpkin, but he's looking pretty mean at the moment. Let's get some little bit of background music going. All right. So, hello, Ella, Lux, Saeed, and Lindley. Thank you so much for joining Martin and myself today for this show of horrific stories. And for those people who don't know this wonderful bunch of people that have been on the show many times, if you'd like to introduce yourselves, maybe Ella, if we start with ladies first, with yourself.
Hello, everybody. I am Ella. My company is Beyond Virtual Events. I do live streams. I produce events for corporations and for small businesses. And today I need you to pretend that I'm a banana. This is my costume. This is as far as I'm going.
Sure.
Fantastic. We didn't get the memo, you see. Everybody else is dressed appropriately and has some things in the background, but Ella's just outdone herself already. So thank you so much for dressing up there. If we could go to Lux next. Hello, Lux.
Hey, hi. Thanks for having me. Hi, folks. I'm Lux Narayan, and I'm a co-founder at a company called Streamer Live. And since it's a t-shirt showing time, like Ella said, so that's kind of what our motto is, unmuting the audience. And I used to be pretty comfortable with coming live on sessions like this and my on-screen presence till this morning, because I emailed Neil and said, do we need to do anything special and dress up in something scary for today? And he said, no, just come as yourself. That's more than enough. And I'm not sure what I should read of that, but that did wonders for confidence today. So thank you, Neil.
You're very welcome.
Unbelievable.
I didn't mean anything by it, but obviously my reputation goes before me. And what can I say? And Mr. Pumpkinhead, that's a song, isn't it, by XTC? But we'll leave that for the 80s reference there. But Saeed, would you like to introduce yourself to everybody, please?
Hello, everybody. My name is Saeed. It's this guy.
Whoa.
Saeed, the facilitator, and yeah, I think it's my 6th time on this live stream with Neil, at least when Martin is unavailable. And I think this is my whole live streaming experience is being a guest on Neil's show. So this is my whole. Usually I do more of workshops, facilitation, trainings, and yeah, use Zoom, but and other tools. But believe me, there are enough fails in that area we can talk and ramble about. Thanks for having me.
You're more than welcome. And Saeed is always a wonderful guest host when Martin is out and about, sunning himself in various places in Edinburgh. Anyway, Lindley, if you'd like to introduce yourself to everybody, and thanks for joining us again today.
Hello, I'm starstruck. What a group of people. I've seen them on Tech Talk Thursdays many times. I mean, I don't know what to say. Apart from, I guess, I'm Lindley Gooden. I'm the founder and cheerleader in chief of Green Screen London, which is a production company, 20 years in the making, multi-award winning. We just won a Cannes World Film Festival award, which is lovely. So all going really well. And yes, basically I'm an author as well. And I was here this time last year with you guys talking horror in different ways after writing a book, and I'm an anti-disinformation campaigner. So unfortunately tonight, I mustn't tell a lie. It's going to be hard. There are some horror stories I can't reveal to you, and there are some that I think we all will. So lovely to be here.
Now you've just teased everybody. It's like, well, what are the stories you can't tell us then? Well, there you go. Fantastic. Well, we have a few people in the house, some guests, so let's just say a quick hello to people. Hello, Valerie. Thanks for joining us. We've missed you, Valerie. You haven't been here for a while, so thank you so much for joining us and moderating. A. Aubrey, so nice of you to join us as well.
Hey, Orbs.
Who else have we got? We've got Eden in the house. So, hey, Eden.
Eden.
And navigating digital marketing with Papa Ron. What font am I using? I can't remember, but I will put it in the chat later. I went through to all kinds of different horror fonts, but it's one available on Google, I think. So anyway, thank you for joining us. It's nice of you all to be here. So I guess I'll start then with a very quick story of things going wrong. And this is on one of my live streams, and Saeed was part of that with Martin and a few other people. So it was a few weeks ago now. What happened to me was I was just busily doing my live stream, as I do, and there was a notification popping up for the display link adapter, which runs Elgato prompters and other monitors and things. All very technical, but the whole point was that it was giving me a warning saying the monitor has stopped working, which is the monitor I'm looking at right now. It just all went completely dark. And it basically said, the monitor stopped working because you're running out of disk space. I'm like, of course I'm not. You know, there's a bug in the software. So I just kept re-enabling the monitor all the time and then switched to Martin's scene. Martin was talking away with the guest and having a good chat. And I was busily scrambling in the background going, no, I'm just going to check this out because it keeps on popping up all the time. And lo and behold, I was down to something like 5% disk space. And I'm right in the middle of a stream, and it's sort of 90% of the way there in the stream, I think. We were coming up to the hour. And I thought, well, what do I do now? Do I keep going? And if it just keeps going, I'll just crash gracefully, or disgracefully, should I say, on the live stream. So basically what I had to do was cut the live stream short, apologize, say I'm running out of disk space. And the reason why I was doing that is because I was recording everybody's video, as you can do in Ecamm in the background. So isolated video, isolated audio, and it was just consuming so much disk space that I was just about to run out. So that was one of my biggest tech fails on a live show that I didn't even plan for. I didn't check whether I had enough disk space. I didn't clean out any of the old files and things like that. So my tip for you is if you are doing something like that and wanting to record the show, as we're doing tonight, but I'm only recording the main show, just check that you've got enough disk space, clean out your hard drive, clean out any of the trash, because when you dump it in the trash, it still stays on your hard drive. It doesn't actually clean it to give it the space. So that's my tech fail. And now I will go over to anybody else who wants to, first of all, comment on one of theirs. And who wants to go next for your horror tip?
I should start, really, shouldn't I?
Go on then, Martin.
Because, we let our guests warm up to this. But yeah, I was scheduled to be on a show, and it was a big show. There were hundreds and hundreds of people watching it. It's one of the Ecamm annual shows where they invite premium people from all over the planet to present, and I was on, and I was going to be doing a presentation and interviewed as well by Doc Rock, who I think everybody knows. So unfortunately I was on holiday at the time, so I had to take a complete set of kit with me. So I'd got my MacBook Pro and a spare travelling monitor, a travelling microphone, a couple of lights, and I'd got everything set up in the hotel room, and I thought, yeah, it's all looking pretty decent for being in a hotel room, but totally unfamiliar with the setup. I'm not in my own home studio, so it's different buttons. So I was kind of nervous about it, and I'm not normally nervous about live streams. But I got like 5 minutes to go, and I booted up Ecamm, and it said, "Do you want to upgrade?" Now, I always upgrade Ecamm, so I just thought, yeah, I'll click on upgrade Ecamm. And it seemed like a good idea at the time, because it normally takes like a minute. But the second I pressed that button, I thought, oh crap, I'm on hotel Wi-Fi. And the upgrade just went clunk, 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 clunk. Oh no, it's not going to upgrade. And eventually it came up, and then the particular upgrade required me to reinstall my camera and my microphone settings as well, the virtual camera and microphones. So by the time I'd done all of that, I was actually just about late. So I pressed to join live with Doc, and he said, "You're live in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3. Boom, I'm live. And I hadn't had a chance to check anything else at all, because I would normally do that in like a pre-show check for myself. I hadn't had nothing. So there's my advice. Don't upgrade anything just before a live, and definitely not if you're on hotel Wi-Fi. Just don't do it.
Well, Aubrey's questioning your sanity right now. She's saying like hotel Wi-Fi question mark. Are you kidding me? You should do it just before you go live. I mean, Ella has basically said no. So yes, good deal. I updated this last night, but yeah, I wasn't going to do it just before. So thank you for that horror story. That is something that you shouldn't do, clearly, especially on hotel Wi-Fi, but there you go. I'm surprised it even worked. I actually watched that show, and it worked pretty well, actually. All things considered, when you're on hotel Wi-Fi, it looked pretty good. So there you go. There's a nice tech fail for you. Who would like to go next with one of their stories?
I just I consulted, I did some research before coming on tonight, and I thought, okay, well, I better ask somebody who actually knows what they're doing. So I asked one of my old colleagues who's a news cameraman. I used to work with him. I was a journalist for a long time. We worked together a lot. Now he's been to the wars, right? He's been literally and metaphorically. He's been to the wars. I won't mention his name. He asked to be off the radar, but he's been to Afghanistan. He's been to Iraq. He's been to lots of different war zones, and one thread, he WhatsApped me today, and one thread that came through was an old satellite system, which I used to use as well for radio, but it was interesting because what he would upload from different locations around the world using a satellite link, M4 satellite link, which for radio was great because you could put audio through no problem at all. When it came to video, he would be offering a clip to the newsroom back in London, and he said it could take up to 7 hours. Now, hotel Wi-Fi, I don't know which one wins. I think possibly the M4 satellite might win on that one. But yeah, just literally, I mean, he said that all the way through. But I don't know about you guys. I mean, what I do, I tend to think of it sounds very technical. I think of the horrors, the Halloween horrors of streaming. I've been both sides of it in 5 different categories: equipment, environment, prep, performance, and wildcards. Now, let's be honest, when you're streaming, everything, Ella, you'll know this very well, I'm sure, everything is a wildcard pretty much. All the other categories, the people, performance, prep, all that stuff, and equipment, that all goes into wildcards because, as we know, hard drives run out. But I remember one time when I was actually doing a piece to camera, I was actually presenting live on the news in the UK. It was very early days of uplinks and streaming. And I was in Slough. Now, I don't know whether Lux and Saeed and Ella, you know about Slough. Slough is where Legoland is in the UK. Slough is also where it's a fascinating place because you've got a whole mix of people. Now, I was doing a piece to camera on a street. It's streets like these. I was doing it from a distance on the high street. Now, I don't know whether you've ever been in this situation when you're doing a live piece, when you're in the real world. People tend to try to find out what on earth, what the hell, what the crap you're doing. And so what they do, they stand in the way and they go, "Oi, mate, what you, oi, mate, oh, look at this guy, hey!" And there's people behind you, there's people in front. I wouldn't recommend it, but Slough, God bless it. It presents all sorts of opportunities and difficulties. So that's one experience from the world out there. Ella, I'm sure I'll throw it to you.
Let's just let me have a cultural moment here and throw in friendly bombs and rain on Slough.
Yeah, bless.
Yeah, Google it, somebody. I'm
Love a bit of
that's
Slough.
that's as
It's where
detailed
the
as I can
original
get.
it's where the Office was originally set. The original British Office with David Brent and all those guys and Ricky Gervais in Slough. So there you go. Lovely, love Slough.
Yeah, I used to work near there.
Legoland.
I'm not going to say much about it. That's as far as it goes, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a story as exciting as that, but but
Thanks.
the
I'm glad to
first-
hear it. I'm glad to hear it.
the first season of my show, The Business Breakout, which was, oh gosh, that was like 3 years ago now. So first season, while I'd been streaming and doing multifaceted things for many other people, I had to stream for myself since 2015 at that point. So this is 2020, whatever 3 years ago is. Math is not my forte. So and so I decided I was going to do this show, a bigger show on my own that was more than just put up my camera. I was gonna do everything I could inside of Ecamm Live. And so this second or third show, I can't remember which one it is. If we go back in my LinkedIn feed, you can find it, because LinkedIn doesn't forget and won't let you delete your mistakes. So I had done all of my checks as one does and found that everything was working as it should before I went live. Or so I thought. And I hit go live, and my little introduction screen comes on, and I'm so sorry that my camera is being so crazy right now. This is the second camera, an intro after it comes to my camera, and I'm saying all of the things. I'm sounding amazing. I know it in my head. And 8 minutes is how long it took for me to finally see that people were saying, we can't hear you. The scene that I needed, the one scene, was muted.
Oh no.
Bless you.
Oh no.
So we stopped, and I said, I'll be back, y'all. And I came back to a new stream, because you can't go back to the same stream like on LinkedIn. So I had to start a completely new one. I think some people found me, but yeah, if you want to find it, it's there on LinkedIn, because you can't delete it. Yeah.
And there's no analog way out, is there, Ella? That, you can't, in the real world, when you're doing an event, and I chair a lot of events and stuff, you can step down on stage, you can talk to the audience. They're wearing those little silent disco headphones and all that sort of stuff. You can at least wave to them and say, "Can you hear us?" You can't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have been paying attention, but I was so I was so caught up in the fact that I was getting all of this done, because at that time I hadn't done that much without my team behind me, because I had a team at that time. And so I was like, I'm gonna push all these buttons on my own. And apparently I missed a button.
It's easily done. It's easily done. And Valerie agrees with you 100%. Being on mute has gotten everybody. I've done a start of a live show completely on mute. In fact, my thing, and it's not live, but I tend to do a lot of recordings, tutorials and things. I do pretty much 25% of those on mute. And then I put it into Final Cut and start editing, going, why can't I hear myself? What's happening? Because sometimes I have dual cameras, you see, so I'll switch a scene. And then I did one the other day where I switched a scene to another camera, and that camera scene was muted. So I'm like, like doing this, doing all the screen sharing. I was like, no, you can't hear anything. So it happens to the best of us, as they say, but it always happens to me. It seems to be as well. So
I had the opposite one time, and I'm sorry, I'm jumping again, but I had the opposite one time. We were chairing, we were presenting a webinar live from a studio just across from Tower Bridge in London, and there are some big guns, right? And so we start at 12 o'clock, and the first thing you say, "Hi, I'm Lindley Gooden." That's the first thing you hear. And because we finished 5 seconds late, the last thing you heard was, okay, thanks for watching. All the best. Good. It was fascinating. So almost the opposite problem. But I loved it. I mean, it was entertaining. It was different. Fantastic.
Eden loves your story as well. The mute is so rude. I've never put it that way before.
Rude.
It is so rude. It's so obnoxious, that mute button.
I miss you, Eden.
And Valerie basically says
I
it
think-
doesn't care about our feelings at all. Sorry, Martin, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think a bunch of us here have got XLR microphones, probably Shure SM7Bs. And just this morning, I had rebooted my Mac, because I do periodically reboot the Mac. And then I went to record a video, good 25 minutes worth of video. And then much like Neil has suggested there, I went to play it back and there was no audio. I thought, what's going on? And every time you reboot your Mac, there's a little button that you have to press on your XLR feed to put the power back into your microphone. And if you don't press it, you ain't got no microphone. And so I did that just this morning. So it wasn't on mute as such, but a microphone with no power is not a microphone.
Exactly. Because you're using one of those cloud lifters, right? That needs the phantom power to kick in the gain. Yeah, it's dear. Mute. I just hate it. And I'm looking now. I mean, I'm so paranoid. I've got the sound levels panel right in front of me. And the thing is, you can double mute as well, which is always fun, right? So the sound levels panel on Ecamm is fine. It's not muted, but I've got a mute button down here on my mixer, which, inevitably is glowing red at me. But I tend to ignore that and say, no, it's wrong. It's not muted. It's me. It's nothing wrong with it.
I was about to say, Neil, there's muting, and then there is, you don't know where you are muted. In my example, it's like, okay, you are muted in Zoom or you aren't. And then, each time I do this, I could touch the mute hardware mute button on my microphone, which is an additional thing. I don't have an audio interface, but there is a mute thing there, unfortunately, and also in the software, like in OBS or in Ecamm. You can... Yeah, back in the day, when we were younger, there was only one way to mute yourself, and now with all the tech, you have to look in 12 different places. It's always the last one you check, right? After unplugging your microphone and changing every setting in Zoom, OBS, and Alter. Oh yeah, it's blinking red, and it tells me. But props to Shure. I think for the new ones, for the Shure MV7 Plus or so, you can deactivate the mute button.
Oh, very good.
In the software. So I'd never use it because I forget to unmute it there. So, yeah, and sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, whoever has invented the capacitive light touch mute button on microphones is the work of the demons. Why do they do that? Because you just have to brush it. It's like, oh, I'm muted. What is that? What nonsense is that all about? And they put it in the most silly place where technically you could, if you're just reaching for something, oh, it's muted. Come on, people. Don't do that.
and speaking of mute, I don't know if this is really like a horror story, not even because it happened to me, but just being part of such an event. I don't know if you remember Zoom bombing. There was even a name for this phenomenon. It is.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, for those who don't know, it's you are in a Zoom meeting or every other platform. I think it works similarly. And then there is this one weird person who just joins, and then they unmute themselves, and they, I don't know, have inappropriate, like, whatever playing in the background. It can be anything. I don't want to go into the specifics here, but it's not appropriate for a meeting that people are looking forward to. And this happens especially if you do things that are more public. I mean, if you do something that's where, I don't know, it's paid, or so nobody will show up just to bomb you and pay like $100. But if it's something you promote on LinkedIn or elsewhere where it's free for everyone to join, and then there is this one person who just joins and does this, and it's very, at least in the past, I mean, when it happens like the first time, you don't know what to do. You don't know who to mute because they rename themselves, so you don't find them. You cannot pick who was it. And it's a whole scheme that is behind that. But fortunately, so if you can, it still works. But you should, if you're doing things in Zoom, especially, you should Google this, because there are some tips and tricks. I know my friend Jan Keck has a video on his channel where he shows how to prevent Zoom bombing. For example, you don't allow people to unmute themselves, like by default. Raise your hand and then you get the microphone. And then additionally, there is don't allow to rename, because they do something and then rename themselves to George or whatever, and you can never catch them, like in the movie Catch Me If You Can. And you can like secure the meeting that nobody can join after you started it. So there's and some other small things. And you may think, yeah, it's a lot of effort, until it happens to you. It didn't even happen to me. I just joined. Oh my God, the poor facilitator who's trying to do like this thing for free for other people that we can learn something together, and then it gets ruined. And there was even a guest, which is even more. I don't know what's wrong with people, to be honest. This is that's really, really weird. Humans, right?
Humans indeed.
We are the worst.
I saw the same thing happen on somebody else's meeting, and those things irk my soul because it is really not that hard to go into the settings in Zoom and make sure that nobody can unmute themselves unless you've given them permission to. But I was at somebody's event and they did some split offs, and there were probably another 50 or so people in this little split that they did. And someone came in on their phone, and the girl that was facilitating that particular split apparently didn't know about muting people. And she was this woman comes in on her phone and she's like talking about whatever she's talking about. I don't know. It was some business event. And the lady facilitator asks for her to mute herself. And the woman on her phone is like, I don't know. She's talking about something. I don't know. She's telling me something. I don't know at all. Like totally oblivious to the fact that it's you we're talking about. I was so upset. I was like, I'm so mad right now. As somebody who does this for people professionally, it's so not hard to mute her right now. Oh my God.
I'm interested to hear what Lux has got to say as well, because you must have seen, there were confidentiality issues here, but you must have seen or heard of these situations. I've never been in one of those meetings where things kick off, like Ella's just talked about. I mean, like when somebody's really badly behaved. I mean, yeah, the bad behavior that I see, I don't know about you, Lux, is when people just keep their cameras off and just don't want to show us their face. Now, that's fair enough, but man, it irks my soul too, Ella.
Absolutely. And yeah, I think "you're on mute" probably is probably the most common 3-word phrase said on the planet today, right? I mean, every single day, most of us are probably saying it in meetings and all of it. Before getting into my tech horror stories, I had to comment about Slough, Lindley, since you brought it up. It brought back memories, and the timing couldn't have been more opportune because we're talking around the time of Halloween. So the one time I went to Slough was when I stayed. I still remember the name of the hotel. It's called the Ostrich Inn on the main Slough High Street. And I check in there, and it's like I have the entire place to myself. And there's just the innkeeper and me. And I said, "Isn't there anyone else staying here tonight?" And they said, "No, we just have, I think it was over 4 rooms or something." And one of my colleagues was flying in from the States the next day, so I knew that 2 of the rooms were occupied, and he said, "There's no one else." So I said, "Okay, so it's just you and me." He said, "No, it's just you." I said, "What about you?" He said, "No, I leave at 10 o'clock. I said, "So what happens to the place?" He said, "No, you'll be fine. It's just you over here, right?" So I'm all alone in this hotel, and that would be kind of fine. It's spooky as it is. And if you folks ever go to the Ostrich Hotel, ask them for the torture room, because that's the room I was staying in.
Did you say
There's
torture
a little
room?
piece of. It is a torture room.
So they're all called that in Slough. Actually, they're all called the torture room.
I'm not referring to the bad sort of thing.
I think I'm going to give the Ostrich Inn 5 stars.
Yeah,
I mean, you
there
call
you
an
go.
innkeeper for a start, which is lovely. I think we should all hark back to those days. Hello, innkeeper. Show me the torture room.
And again, in case anyone forms an opinion of the Ostrich Inn, it's a beautiful place. It's a lovely place to stay. But the torture room is fascinating because that's the room I was staying in. Wow. And it's not called the torture room, but there's a little piece of history written on the side of the bed, which I had the misfortune of reading just before going to bed, where it says that about a couple of centuries before, apparently in that same place, on that same bed, what would happen is the innkeeper, not this innkeeper because it was a couple of centuries before, fortunately, they would rob their guests. And their method of robbing guests was they would have a huge cauldron of boiling oil in the kitchen. And they had a trapdoor on the floor of the rooms, and the bed had a hinge. So they would pull a lever, and the bed would hinge down, and the people would fall through the trapdoor into the cauldron of boiling oil, and then they would go and rob them, which sounded like a very elaborate mechanism to actually rob these people. And I looked it up. It's a true story. It actually happened.
It's a very old place. I mean, I think that's something you need to live stream. I just think the camera needs to be ready and going for the morning, for breakfast time, when the innkeeper returns, and they, you know, they've got the trap doors are ready to go. I mean, I mean, there are places like that. I mean, it's right next to Windsor. It's basically Windsor where the king lives part of the time now, and it is it's a really old place. Slough is a really old place. But you know, one of my favourite kind of mockumentaries almost was one Most Haunted, and they did this thing live. And when they streamed those things live, it gave a real sense of authenticity, which I suppose in some ways in our business world we're trying to offer that real unedited authenticity. You know, you're going around, you're seeing things, you're hearing from people live, you're getting long form like we're doing here. But seriously, I'd swap every business event for a lovely haunted live over the cauldron this time next year. Neil, Martin, sort it.
Okay, we're on location then. We'll talk about some location fails later, but I'm not going to that place. I don't even know where that is, but I need to look it up now. Looks. Yes. So
Who do we invoice for that trip?
Yeah.
I think we'll invoice
the devil.
I think we'll invoice. I think Lux is frozen. I don't know what. I think something has struck
Slough
him
has
already.
him.
Oh, he's gone.
Slough got him.
Okay. Well, we'll
See,
wait.
he shouldn't have talked about it out loud.
I know.
On the night before Halloween.
innkeeper
I mean,
has come.
seriously.
I'm coming for
that's
you.
right.
Lutz. I'm coming for you.
Exactly. That's what's going to happen. So you know.
Wow.
I know. Crazy stuff.
That's right.
You know, one of my fails is once I was in a live stream and then Lux was just frozen and dropped out of the live stream. So
Yeah, that was a really
Once upon a
really
time,
bad
I can-
episode. Yeah.
I can remember it very vividly.
I have to bring my Zoom. I'm not.
Are you out,
Seemed like
you
it
out
was
of disk
just
space
seconds
again,
ago.
Neil?
No, I'm not prepared. Yeah, I targeted Lux this time. I'm not prepared to admit people back in. You see, good job I didn't lock this room because I tend to do that as well now with Zoom events and things. If there's a time, you know, and people join 15 minutes in, it's time to lock the room. You can't do that automatically on Zoom, unfortunately, but it's still a manual thing. So you could hand it to your co-host or your friend or whoever is working with you. But I'm glad I didn't do that here because Lux would not have been allowed to come back in. So once his internet's got back up and running, we'll get him sorted. So yes, Martin.
So, serious tip is just to add to all the other tips there about Zoom rooms and things like that. Possibly the worst, never mind audio, is don't let other people share their screens. Because if you're in a Zoom meeting with 100 different people who you don't know and you haven't disabled the ability to share screen, anybody can just go, oh, I'll press share screen. And they can share absolutely anything and it will take over the complete production instantaneously and you can't stop it.
Oh yeah, that's a horrible thing, isn't it?
Watch out.
On top of that, annotations is also a thing. If you don't need them, turn them off because then anybody can draw on your screen. And some people become like 8-year-olds. And I don't want to go into details what you can draw like with a digital pen, but yes, exactly that. If it appears on your PowerPoint,
Oh dear.
probably not your best day. It's funny for a moment, but then
Yeah.
over time, probably not.
Are there
anymore.
any new sort of technical issues that are coming through for streaming? Because I mean, you know, it's been around for a long time now, and it was very, very, very expensive. Now it's perfectly possible to do what we're doing here. But I wonder whether there are new ways of doing it. I don't trust, I don't go out and trust 4G. I don't stream live, like a lot of young people would do or influencers would do. But I wonder, Neil and Martin, is there anything that's coming through that that is a really interesting new avenue for us all to consider? Because we can do it the same ways we would. We can do it sit down in our offices and so on, like we're doing here, and it always looks really nice. But especially when you have the pumpkin going, that's really, really special.
I think
the telltale sign that it's actually not real. There we go. My arm disappears.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a couple of new protocols coming through where they're typically trying to replace RTMP with something called WISP, which is something I've heard, and it's in beta at the moment, and Restream is testing it and so on. But you have to have your encoder that supports that protocol, and all they're trying to do is reduce the amount of bandwidth required to do high quality live streams like this. Because if you can get around that barrier, then you don't need a larger internet connection to be able to do this. And I'm not going to tempt fate, but I'm just saying we're streaming right now live to multiple platforms There's a slow police, multiple platforms. Going through. Is that you, Lindley, or is that Martin? Because it's got to be.
It wasn't. I didn't call them.
Okay, you didn't call. Did you call them Martin? I think they've gone out to find where Lux's Wi-Fi is gone. But
Yeah.
I think I'm basically streaming this session right now on Starlink, and I like you. I mean, it's satellite internet. It's not what satellite internet used to be, with its very high latency and so on and low bandwidth. So things have come a long way in terms of the barrier to entry has been reduced for people to be able to do live streaming. People do stream live on 5G now because that's a decent connection. But in terms of live streaming technology, I mean, it's not evolved that much. I don't think. I mean, there's a lot more automation. There's a lot more platforms that are not being physical platforms, as it were, like software, like OBS and Ecamm. A lot of people move into web-based platforms for streaming where they have a lot of workflows and things set in already. Things like StreamYard, Riverside, all those others. So there's quite a few that's already up and running, I think. But in terms of new technology, not that I'm aware of. I'm just going to add Lux to the session. Just one second. Where's he gone?
I also think, Neil, I mean, do you really need to stream in 12K if it's just you sitting there? And I mean, you don't have to like put too much pressure on your interwebs if you don't really need it. Just because you can do it, right?
You shouldn't.
Does not mean you need to. People will watch it on their phone if you don't show like something that's very like small. I don't know. You need all the details. Just talking heads. You don't need to have the highest quality, and nobody will see the difference in most cases. So at least it saves a little bit of bandwidth. That's my point.
And doesn't YouTube default to like 720 anyway?
It does.
It depends.
Unless you change it.
Yeah. And I think an interesting statistic though, and that was out last year, that I think 60% of viewers now are watching shows like this, heaven forbid, on 65-inch TVs. So YouTube TV is really surpassing mobile viewing now. So whilst quality didn't used to be as paramount if you're just live streaming gaming and things. If people are now pushing live streams to large screen TVs, which inevitably are all in 4K, then there is a quality thing that you need to consider, I think, if you want to sort of, raise the bar a little bit with your own sort of content, especially if people are watching it on television. So I think that's something to be mindful for. There are 8K streams out there, believe it or not. YouTube has been testing 8K streams, but the bandwidth required for an 8K stream, I mean, a 4K stream like this is something like 24 to 25 megabits per second upload, sort of, at a reasonable bit rate. But when you're talking 8K, I mean, you're talking ridiculous amounts. So unless you've got fiber or something like that, then that's not going to be possible for many people.
But also, it's what you're carrying with it. The 8K stream, the bandwidth really is only useful if you're carrying other information, other documents, other pieces of video and content. That's really useful to have more bandwidth, the iceberg beneath. But actually, as Saib was saying, you don't need 12K streaming unless you're showing tiny, minute details. Maybe you're doing an operation. We do a lot of stuff like with NHS in the UK and private medical companies and stuff, just heart operations, eye operations. You might need some detail, but you don't stream that because that's going to be packaged up into content that's finely tuned and graphicized for later on. So, yeah, it's interesting. The YouTube thing's really fascinating because YouTube has now some time it's taken back. It is the channel that young people watch, and I haven't done any research on this, but I'm assuming because the rubber band effect happens. 1 minute you want just mobile, and that's still there. Obviously, you're going to take all your content in there. It's quick, it's simple, it's 1 second a piece. Off you go. That was always going to be the case, even for somebody older like me. But it's coming back to having variety now. And when we're out there filming stuff, whatever it might be a facility, it might be people, it might be a panel. You don't stack a panel like a totem pole, one over the other, over the other, over the other. You put them next to each other. So widescreen still has a great function, and YouTube is primarily, apart from the shorts, is primarily in widescreen. So I think also, the actual visual format, when you're walking down a street, you're not looking like that or like that. You might be doing that a bit, but you're looking left and right. So actually, video is supposed to represent, and that can be streamed or produced. That's supposed to represent what you feel and see and touch in the real world. So I still think that the video format itself, I still think widescreen or things like that, square video as a compromise, has a real place in the market.
Definitely. Yeah. Go ahead.
Did you guys see this new trend of it was like in the past weeks where there was this new format that's just like, I don't know what it is. It's like 21 to 2
Yeah,
or something. It's like a
script.
little stripe.
It's a script,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like you're in
Exactly.
an IMAX
What?
theater.
What is this?
Were-
Brian IMAX, that's right. Yeah.
What? Okay, what the hell is that?
It's an
And
Instagram
everybody,
thing,
of course,
isn't it?
and most content was people making fun of it and like doing a fun video that is just like a little strip
Look,
on.
Saeed, you know when you wake up in the morning in the torture room, and when you're thrown into the cauldron of boiling hot oil, you don't want to see too much. You want you want to keep your eyes fairly closed. That's the dedicated market for that.
I think
format,
so.
I believe.
Definitely. Well, welcome back.
Probably, yeah.
Welcome back, Lux. Hopefully your internet is
Lindley doing that back because can you hear me okay?
a little
I'm
bit.
tethered to my phone, so hopefully that's not bad.
You're,
Breaking up a little bit.
you're
Yeah.
smiling though, which is nice, and maybe that's it. You're back
Gotcha.
now. Yeah, you were frozen a little bit there, and now you're back again. So
Lux,
go ahead.
what you need to get, Lux, is one of those
I will
internet
give the audio
providers where you don't need to go and put a pound in the meter every 20 minutes.
Yeah, is that the definition of dial-up internet where
Bandwidth
you
is a
actually
very
have to dial
sensitive
up?
topic right
Yeah. Bandwidth
We'll
is
send you
agreement.
more pound coins.
Exactly. I don't know whether you're able to share your story with us, Lux, if you have one. Maybe if it's a problem for being on video, maybe you can just turn off your video and we can hear your luscious tones instead. It's whatever you want to do. Oh, something I said. Has he disappeared again?
That's clear.
Yeah, that's clear. Oh, well.
Where are the AI doppelgangers when you need them?
I know, I should
Martin,
bring-
I'm very disappointed. You could have prepared one.
Need a Lux placeholder.
Don't worry.
That's a good point, isn't it? Is there a place for is there really a place in a real world where we're trying to hold on to reality as hard as we can? Is there a place for having your Saeed alike or Lindley alike? Is it worth thinking about that stuff?
It's
But
I
isn't
think
what
it
are they
depends on the
called?
situation.
VTubers?
I'm sorry, say again?
Yeah.
No, I just said I think it depends on the situation. Like you talking about having
Yeah.
like an AI avatar.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it really depends on the situation. I think if for someone like me who is wanting to show people how to do particular things in these, digital situations, it doesn't make sense for me to have an avatar to do that in my personal opinion. But I'm sure that there are others that would think otherwise. I'm not to that place yet where I feel like I need to clone myself in the teaching sense of doing like my videos on YouTube. But I'm sure that there are people that would make an argument for it. But I like for it to be me representing me.
Yeah.
But you could have lots and lots of Ella minions if you did that.
There you go. Yeah, little ones going around.
I think I saw them on a film, Despicable Me 3. I thought I saw lots of copies of you, but
I got
avatars.
one running around here somewhere.
okay. But yeah, no, it's right, isn't it? I mean, but there is, since we're talking about, there's a touch of horror about using AI in that way full time. Have I frozen as well? It looks like I might have.
Yeah, you've frozen a little bit as well. Oh, there you go.
Oh,
You're back.
I'm back.
You're
Yeah.
back.
Yes. So the difficulty is, I would say, is that if you want, you can offer a lot of, say, training material. You could do it live, just using the software, using your algorithm, using your AI avatar, and so on. You could do that almost live and keep on doing that. That might be a mass market way of doing that. But a client asked me about this the other day, and I said to them, look, look, it's brilliant, and I would love to do that. I actually wrote about it, and I said I won't be doing that because once you've handed over control, you really don't have full, somebody could copy you and then put out stuff that you didn't say, and that's unacceptable. But I said to the client, look, if your customers see the slightly polished version of you and they see you speaking to them as if you're real, your reputation is done. Even in a sort of alt reality where we accept that there is a lot of AI avatar out there and it might be the person who produced it, but if you do that, then your reputation could be very much harmed, because if you couldn't be bothered to stand up in front of a camera and talk for real, what's it going to do?
Yeah.
That was my feeling.
Can
But
let me sorry if I may interject. Something that wasn't even, this is not even AI. This is before people were making their avatars. I paid almost $2,000 for a particular program, which wasn't their top tier, but $2,000 is nothing to sneeze at. And I expected to get a live event because that is what was promised to me. And this event, not only did they have the chat shut off, I might be still a little salty about it, but also the event was pre-recorded in Zoom.
yeah,
Wow.
For
Really?
hours.
not good enough. Not good enough.
No.
I was like, absolutely not. What did I just pay for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For you to not be here.
That's right.
Even without paying, Ella. So I had a similar experience. Was like a one of these every 6 months I do like product update and stuff for a certain software, and it's the huge live event, and hundreds of people were joining to see what's coming up, and then like after 3 minutes, the only messages in the chat were, "This is not live, is it? Is it?" You can see it because how the way it was produced. You see camera cuts. You don't do this like live, and also the way the people spoke. But there were people in the background who were live chatting. So if you have a question, they were responding to the things. But so why am I here? Just send me the video on, or give me the link on YouTube. I put on pants today to be here, and it doesn't make any sense. I could watch it whenever. So yeah. At least don't sell it as something. If you say it's in Zoom, right? Or if you do a live stream, then I just assume there will be somebody doing it live, and I don't bother about things breaking or if it's not. It's authentic and it's okay. Rather than let's play a video for you. I don't know. I don't get it. And then you get the recording afterwards. I get the recording of the recording. This is very meta.
And they made you have to be there. They told you have to be there live, or you're going to miss out on X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, exactly.
But you ain't here live. What you?
Yeah. I think the only thing that
I mean that is a real horror story, and it's just complete. You know, it's profiteering. It's not good service. It's not good quality. It's not providing you as a person as part of that live event, or somebody watching it. It's not giving them anything. I mean, there's one thing inside. You mentioned it there, authentic. You know. These things can be really slick, and that's really nice. That's really good for us producers to look at that and say, well, that's great. But if you don't think about what the audience is experiencing, whether they believe what you're saying, you know, we are detached from, even now after a few years since COVID, we are detached. You know, we only have a 2D version of what real interaction would be. So you've got to reach out. You've got to talk to people, haven't you, side, and just say, you know, this is what we're doing. You've got to be really clear. You've got to be honest. You've got to kind of, you know, you've almost got to de-slick it. If you can de-slick it slightly, it's real, you know.
Absolutely. I think I was just thinking back to you talking about paying for like software and then attending events that aren't live. And I've attended a couple of events whereby you're right. You can clearly see that it's not a live event, but the live portion is the moderator or whoever's there pushing the next course, pushing the links, sign up here, come and join this community. That's the live bit. And then the people who are actually joining live in the chat, it's just a live chat basically. And all you're doing is watching a pre-recorded video. And that's not on. And that is definitely a horror story.
I blocked an hour in my calendar for that. I mean, respecting people's time is
definitely
another thing, right? I didn't have anything better to do, but just.
Well, that doesn't matter. It's still your time and be respectful. And I think the quote of the night so far is, "I put on my pants for this." That's all I'm saying. That's a great quote, Saeed. You know, I mean, that's...
And
speaking, my next shirt.
Speaking of which, because we talked about authenticity, I witnessed this live. No, he doesn't for a reason, and I learned a lesson. You know, you should always put on pants when you are attending or hosting something that's live. This is just a general rule. It's not the pandemic anymore, where it was okay. We were all in our bathrobes, and who really cares? But now we are back like in the normal world, and because maybe you have to stand up, and then you are in your shorts or in whatever, right? Or in your, even if it's just your joggers or anywho. I was attending something which was like, again, it was like a in Zoom, I think, and people have their camera on, and there's sometimes, you need to, you asked before, Linda, encouraging people to turn on their cameras. Yeah, and then it's the wrong person who turns on their camera, right? And then you can see someone in the background in their undies walking like behind, I think it was his wife or something, multiple times, and she didn't realize it. I realized it because, I don't know, I have an eye for details. And the worst part is this recording was shared afterwards on YouTube publicly.
Oh.
Everybody gave their consent, of course. And you always opt in. Hey, this will be used for promo and on YouTube. And then, okay, I will not tell anybody, but I know there is the video where you can see in the gallery this one guy like walking in the background in his undies doing something while his wife is trying to attend this webinar and like super serious. Okay, this is slapstick. So it's funny for me because it didn't happen to me, but it's also like a little bit, we have a word for this in German, it's Fremdscham, when you are like ashamed on behalf of someone else. We have a very long word for everything in German. So yeah.
And if you blur the background, all you get is your face and the person in the pants. And then
exactly. Then you cannot unsee it anymore. Yeah, exactly. Spotlight.
So Florence has joined us. Hi, Florence. Thank you for joining us. And speaking of 65-inch TVs, John is one of those watching us right now on the big screen. So
wow, look at that.
Apologies for this for the the mime artist there. I was going to say apologies. Lux has dropped out. I don't think his internet has gone. I don't know. The two master has taken away his internet and put him into a small dungeon. Just speaking to that point, Saeed, about seeing things that you shouldn't. So this is going back to my IT consulting days of joining Zoom when everybody was in that sort of pandemic era. And it was a big town hall meeting. So lots of the big wigs, the CEOs, everybody was there. And at the time, there was a set of guest speakers that were supposed to be coming on. And one guy, I am convinced, I know now, that he didn't get the memo. So for whatever reason, as a host, you can actually turn on other people's cameras as well. They had it set like that, where you could actually, as you're walking through, and now we'll go to, let's say, Malcolm, for example. Let's go to Malcolm, and he's got something to say. And it was a very, very hot summer day in the UK. That's all I'm going to say. This gentleman was larger than average. That's all I'm going to say. And went straight to his camera, and he's there with a little glass of water, no top on, sweating,
excellent,
not looking great. And it's like, I'm coming to you now, and what do you have to say about it? And the sheer horror on his face when obviously he was spotlit, and that frantic, I've got to search for my mouse now and turn my camera off thing. The days before Stream Decks and everybody got a little bit more efficient, but that's a horror story that I just can't get that out of my head. So as you can see, and
he gave you the courtesy of turning his camera off so that he could get naked. That is not his fault.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Privacy rules. But how do you exit that? Do you just go, just let it slide to one side?
It was just the sheer horror. It was just the face. Poor guy. I did feel sorry for him, but we had a little chuckle in the background. That's all I'm saying. But needless to say, the town hall went well, and the company subsequently folded. No, I'm just kidding. So everything was fine. Everything was fine.
But nobody will ever forget this one meeting.
No.
It makes it. You can do this on purpose. You're having just one naked guy every meeting. You want people to pay attention because then that's how you get focus, right? And it's a gimmick somehow. So. Where's Waldo?
Speaking of which, and Lux is back naked. No, I'm just kidding. No, and he decided, to shock everybody.
Oh, bless
his horror story.
We miss Lux.
I know.
Where is
That's
Lux?
a shame.
We miss him.
We'll have to do this again and just bring Lux in just to share his horror. We didn't get to share his horror stories. We're about 4 minutes before we at the top of the hour. I can't believe an hour has gone by so quickly as these events and things happen. Martin is very good at keeping me on time here, and we've got like 4 minutes to go. So would anybody else like to share one or two little quick stories about how things went horribly wrong, either in live meetings, hybrid meetings, and so on? But go ahead. This is your time to share.
I'll tell you a live stage story.
Please, even better.
Can I tell a live stage story?
Yes.
Okay, so
go ahead.
I was singing, as one does, on Royal Caribbean stage. And this one particular night, we were going to sing Go to the End of the Road, the 4 lead singers. I had to be first. and I'm singing my heart out. This was the song that we emoted on. This was the one we knew that if we had some things to get out that night, this is the song. So I was getting my stuff out. We belong together. Didn't know, whatever the words are. And I see people, one person is leaving, from the front row, and I'm like, what is, I mean, it's okay, whatever. Then I see a whole row of people leave, and I'm like, what is going on? And I'm just trying to sing my song, and I'm there for a while before the rest of the other singers come out. Finally, someone from the front row that was leaving goes and is pointing up. And I look up and there is a fire above my head.
Oh my gosh. Really?
What?
So I'm like running off the stage, and because it was so crazy, mics were not turned off. And Mary Frances, if you watch this, you know what she did. Mary Frances is from Mississippi, and off stage you hear her, there's a fire on stage.
You would.
So did
But was that was on a ship? That was
That was
like
on the ship.
wow.
wow. So I mean,
Good
that's
times.
pretty end game, isn't it? Really, let's be honest.
At least you can have the bragging rights and say that you lit the stage up. I mean, that's perfect, right? So well done for you.
Yeah, hey.
To quote Alicia Keys, this stage is on fire.
There you go.
That's it.
So
I will not sing it because of copyright violations for YouTube. When otherwise Neil has to take like the recording down.
Yes,
I would just like to add more of a general public service announcement. You may think I got everything under control, and I know which monitor I want to share, and I'm aware of everything. Do yourselves a favor, because you will learn it the hard way, and close like the private chat with your grandma you have open. Close the, I don't know, whatever you are shopping on Amazon at the moment. It doesn't have to be inappropriate, but nobody needs to know, right? And also, all the small details, if you're showing something as a private key or anything, close everything, only leave the things open you need. We all have done that, like sharing the wrong tab, the wrong monitor, the wrong whatever it is, and especially if you're live streaming it, then it's out there. I mean, on YouTube, it depends if you're doing something just live. Okay, they saw it maybe, but nobody can like actually remember your password or what was on screen. But if you're doing it like on YouTube or elsewhere, and you don't see it at the moment, that's a little bit tougher until I saw one just like a short video on Instagram or so, where somebody showed what are they called, like for the crypto stuff, like the key you have, like this super special key, right?
Oh, yeah.
He showed it for half a second accidentally while he was finishing his sentence. Oh my god, they just cleaned his whole account with I don't know how many 5 figures live. Somebody saw it, screenshot it, typed in maybe they were just waiting for it, and then there was like a few $1,000s gone. He didn't even finish his sentence.
Poor guy.
That's live outrage. You can Google it, and it's very funny if you're not the one who with the account. So yeah.
I think that was the innkeeper from Slough who did that.
Yes.
Probably.
Watch out, breakfast.
And poor Lux, he's given us a live demo of when things go wrong. He has a storm, and Lux has another tip: never say bad things about Slough in a live stream. It can boil your internet. Those are top tips.
Now we know.
Well, we are at the top of the hour. I just wanted to share everybody's links of where everybody is. That's going to go out on the streams as well. So we've got one for Ella, where they can get in touch with you. I'm not going to bother with Lux. No, I'm just kidding. So I'll do Lux as well. Anybody want to share anything else before we close up for the evening?
Thank you.
Oh, that's very nice of you.
Bye.
Thanks for having us on.
Well, we'd definitely like to have you back next time. I'm sorry, Martin. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was great. I just reminded of when I scheduled one of our live streams, and 30 seconds in, the Amazon man arrived with my special package, and then the package arrived and everybody wanted it to turn into an unboxing event, which was not what was meant to happen at all.
Good job it was some tech and not anything else, back to Saeed's point.
Well, absolutely.
We'll leave it at that. Well, I want to thank all of you for joining and love to have you back another time. It's been great. And Lindley, we don't want to have this on a yearly basis. We should have it more a more regular cadence. And Ella, it's been wonderful
yearly,
to see
bi-yearly, every three. That's fine.
And thank you, Ella, for joining us as well. It's been a while since we've seen you, and really nice for you to be back on the show. And love seeing you. And Saeed, as ever, guest host, guest live streamer, whatever it is. It's been good fun today, and Valerie said it was fun. Thank you for everybody. And we'll see you next week. I'm going to end the live stream now. If you want to stay in the green room for 5 minutes, we'll have a chat. But thanks to everybody, and see you soon. Take care. Bye.